Hey, welcome back to the voice notes from the Organized Homeschool. This week's solo episode is a little bit different because I wanted to give you access to my voice note that I sent to the group of homeschooling moms who are planning back to school together. Each week I've been sending a voice note about what's on the schedule for that week. So I created an 8-week schedule that goes into basically being ready to go back to school. And this week was around planning academics for week 1. And so I want to share that voice note with you. So if you want the schedule, obviously there's probably not 8 weeks left to getting ready for back to school, but you still could use the schedule to just double check that you've done everything so far, pull whatever you need from it, truncate it from 8 weeks to 2 weeks if you need to. And that's a free resource that I have. I'll link it in the show notes, but I wanted to share this with you. It's basically how I thought about planning for my week 1 of back to school. I hope you enjoy this and would love to hear from you how you're planning and thinking about week 1 and just generally back to school, what you're planning, what you're doing, how you're getting ready. And let me know what you think. Hey, and we are in week 6 of our planning for back to school. This is crazy because then there's just 2 more weeks left and the group is over, but we can figure that out later. But I wanted to chat about this week. This week is all about the academic plans for week 1. So I'm pulling up the document that outlines the checklist, and then I want to share what I did, and I'll put pictures of my planner so far. So, the checklist, has you plan out whatever lessons you're doing for each subject for that first week, prepare any worksheets or materials that you might need, set up any assessments or placement tests. I know some curriculum, I don't want to say recommend, or they might even require if it's an online learning piece. Plan review activities. So, if you did take a break for the summer, it's not a bad idea to look at the end of last year's curriculum and see if there's any review. Some curriculum has review, like Math with Confidence does start out with a week or maybe even 2 weeks of review. So that's nice if the curriculum has it and you can use those. And then if you want to set up any independent folders or bins, or I am scheming on making one of the corners in our room that we have, or maybe even just in our living room, a reading corner, and putting we have a beanbag chair that is in the basement right now. So bringing that up and making it comfy and fun, maybe hanging some lights on the wall. I don't know. I'm plotting on that. So that's something I might work on this week. So let me tell you what I did for my academic plan. So for week 1, I am planning heavy back to school traditions, meaning I have something for every day. Yep, I have something for every day. And ELA, which will be a review, and math, which will be a review. So we're just doing back to school fun and getting back into ELA and math with review, because my goal is to we're just going to start the year super confident, just very positive vibes. And then the other piece that I planned out was our rhythms and routines that I want to focus on. So, all right, ELA, we're just doing review for phonics and learning to read. And then we're doing read alouds are going to be back to school theme read alouds. And then handwriting, I'm just going to find some free printables for that. And this, of course, I have a first grader. So that's what we're going to do for ELA. For math, they have review week, so we're going to use them. I mean, it feels a little easy, numbers to 10 when he knows beyond 100, but I'm it doesn't hurt to solidify. And like I said, let's just start really fun, really easy, gain even more confidence. This is so easy. Love school, right? My son is not quite the person who gets excited about hard stuff. He he's very hard on himself. So when he doesn't get something right, he lets it show that he's not happy. So I'm like, okay, let's just start with the easy. Okay, and then as far as back to school traditions, I know we had a planned back to school week a couple weeks ago, but I am now just putting my ideas on dates. So here's what I have. The Monday, the first day of school, we're going to do first day of school pictures, a back to school breakfast, and I put light decorations. I'm just going to order a few things, nothing crazy, maybe first day of school banner, maybe some fun back to school plates and stuff like that. Not too much. I am saying this out loud so I can hold myself accountable to not going crazy with back to school decorations. Day 2, Tuesday, our back to school tradition, I'm calling this, I have that written on my planner, you'll see, is an all about me poster and a fun science experiment because my son loves science experiments. And we're not going to do science this week, so I'm just going to find an experiment that I know he'll like, and we'll do that. And then Wednesday we have co-op, day 1 of co-op, so we're not going to do anything for that day. Thursday I am going to do the decorate your library bag project, so it'll be an art project. I'm going to buy canvas bags and we have paint, and it'll just be fun, decorate it however you want to. I'll buy one for me and one for him. And then on Friday, I think that's the last Friday of the pool that we go to. So weather permitting, we will do a pool picnic. If weather does not permit, we will do an indoor picnic and we'll build a tent, a tent, and have picnicky foods and maybe some picnic. I'll figure out some games and stuff to do. So that will be our Friday. And then the other thing that I'm planning for academics is our rhythms. So my son is really into a checklist. So I'm going to, on Monday, focus on teaching him, explaining, talking through a start of day and an end of day checklist, literally a morning wake up routine and a bedtime routine. He already has really solid bedtime routine, and honestly in the last 2 weeks he's created his own kind of morning routine where as soon as he gets up he gets dressed, brushes his teeth. I need to add in there make your bed. So that's what I want to do is put together a laminated sheet for him that he has in his room that he can check off each day. So that will be Monday where I'll have that ready. We'll talk about it. He'll practice it. And then we just keep doing it every day. Tuesday, I want to think through what's our agenda for a circle time. I personally still think first grade, you can do circle time. I don't know. I think, and my son is a young first grader, his birthday's August, so he's just turned 6. So we're going to do circle time still and morning menu. So Tuesday we'll be talking about circle time and what's the flow of circle time, singing songs and doing the calendar and talking about our goals for the day. So I'm going to plan that out. And then a morning menu routine. I haven't decided if I'll put that before or after circle time. But yeah. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention for Monday is this is when I'm going to start practicing and seeing how it works with having the 3 blocks that I shared with you guys, a learning block, a life block where we do errands and tidying up and all that life stuff. And then the last block I'm calling a leisure block, so it'll be 3 L's, and that's play dates, activities, learning based off of interest, all that. So that's also going to be Monday, and I'll just carry that through the week, see how it goes. Wednesday through Friday, each day I want to teach him a new independent math center. So this is something I used to do as a teacher, is just create a bunch of independent things that he can do. So maybe this one center will be you roll the dice and that's your first number. Then you put the plus sign, you roll the dice, that's your second number. And then you put your answer and you do it on a whiteboard. And that's an independent center, like super, super simple. It's like a basket with a whiteboard, marker, eraser, and a dice. Like so easy, but just teaching him what to do at each one. And so by Friday, he'll have 3 that he can do and choose from at any point in the day. So like my goal is for him to, like, in addition to having all his toys that he can play with, have like learning fun activities he can do by himself whenever I need a moment. I'm putting the baby down for a nap, whatever it is, or it may just be, we'll figure out if that's like how we end math, we start math. And so for this week, we're going to do math, and I've chose math because he prefers math over reading. So I want to like get the math ones. They'll be easy for him to do independently. And then the following week, we'll do reading. But the other thing that I'm going to talk about is the reading corner and a reading tracker. So I want to start him off with a reading tracker. He has a timer, so to reinforce time, a little bit of math with this, I'm going to have him keep track of how many minutes he reads independently. And then when he gets to a certain amount of minutes, he can choose some type of celebration. So the reading corner I talked about, and then I'll introduce the tracker starting on Wednesday, so that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we do a little bit of independent math with the center, and then a little bit of independent reading, and I'll teach him how to add his time up on that tracker. So that's my first week. It's hopefully going to be pretty simple. A read aloud, some handwriting practice, some review of learning to read stuff, simple math lessons, and then just back to school fun. And that's it. Like keeping it real simple for week 1, and then week 2, I think week 2 we're going to do the same thing. Different lessons, obviously, but the same thing. Take out the back to school traditions and just keep the independent centers. Like that's what we'll add in the reading center, and keep those 3 math centers. Maybe add 1 more math center. And then week 3 of school, we'll start adding in other subjects. So that's how I plan on doing that. I'm so excited to hear about how you guys are thinking about week 1 of academics and planning for it. I will drop this voice note along with the pictures of my planner. Hope this helps. All right, bye.